Tonight's meeting of the Peters Township Zoning Hearing Board will come to order. The board consists of 5 members and 1 alternate. Can you, a roll call? Mr. King?
Ms. Wachowski?
Present.
Mr. Higgins? Present. Mr. Griffith?
Present.
Mr. Jones?
Present.
Mr. Stevens?
Here.
Planning Director Mark Holdren and Assistant Planning Director Garrett King in attendance representing the Township. Zoning Hearing Board Solicitor Tom Lonich, Esquire, is also in attendance. A majority of the board is present, and with the majority being present, we are able to conduct business and issue decisions. We have 3 cases. Is there 3 cases or 2 cases? 2 cases on the agenda this evening. The first case is ZHB 26047.
00473.
00473. A request for a variance from 440-403.1C of Peters Township zoning ordinance by Angela Hazel for the property located at 301 Darcy Court, specifically to construct a deck of the rear of the home. The deck is proposed a 15 front yard setback encroaching 5 feet into the required 20-foot front yard setback. We will make staff's memo to the board summarizing the hearing, Exhibit A. The applicant's application is Exhibit B. Mr. King, was notice of the hearing properly advertised and posted?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of these notifications?
Yes, I do.
This legal notice, it's proof of publication in the Observer Reporter, a copy of the letter sent to property owners within 600 feet of the subject property, and proof of property postings will be Exhibits C, D, E, and F. Exhibits G, H, and I are the proposed plot plan, deck drawings, and house elevations. Mr. King, would you provide us the background and analysis on the case?
Excuse me, Mr. King, before you get that, is Ms. Hazel present? Okay. Ms. Hazel, my name is Tom Lonich. I'm the solicitor, and we have 4 regular board members, which means there is a quorum. And I don't know how the vote may shake out, but if the vote ends in a 2-2 tie, that means the application is denied. We do have an alternate member present, and with your permission, I would like to request that the alternate member move up, so to speak, and become a voting member of the board.
Yes,
Yep. Okay, so the record should reflect that the applicant is in agreement with that, and so all 5 board members present will be able to participate and vote in this matter. All right. Thank you, Mr. Hazel. Mr. King, thank you.
Also, one other thing, her first name's Angelina, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, so this is a variance, a 5-foot variance to the required 20-foot front yard setback. As noted in the description, this deck is off the rear of the home, but it is a front yard setback request due to the lot being a corner lot. This is part of the Pemberley Manor plan. It's a 0.22 acre lot, just under 10,000 square feet. It is in the low density mixed residential overlay. It's a existing single family home. The whole development single family homes. So the proposed deck is 14 feet by 20 feet off the rear of the existing structure. The need for the location there is due to a sliding door off this part of the rear of the home. This is pretty common for this development. All of these houses have some sort of opening to allow for a rear deck. If you look on the table, the district requirement is 25 feet, but there was an approved development plan that reduced this down to 20 feet. In this scenario, our regulations will default to the development plan, which again is the Pemberley Manor plan. The hardship in this case is the shape of the lot, with the lot being at the intersection of Brony Road and, what is this, sorry, Darcy Court. The house really was required to be on Darcy Court, therefore positioning the rear of the home kind of projecting and facing towards the other frontage. Elevation was included from the original building permit to show where this rear glass sliding door is intended to be used for a deck or patio. Like I said earlier, this is pretty common for this neighborhood. We've received quite a few of these rear decks. Most of them have some sort of sliding glass door. Some are raised decks, some are just decks on grade, some have chosen patios, but this is very common for this neighborhood. If the board decides that they want to approve this, recommended conditions are that they follow up with a building permit, and in the future, any other structure permitted or proposed to encroach into a setback would need to come before the board for a separate variance.
Is there a deck now?
There's no deck now, it's just a single-family home on the lot.
So the sliding glass door is open to nothing?
Most likely, I know sometimes they board them off for safety reasons when construction occurs, but it would be just out to dirt.
I guess from that drawing, where would the deck have to be to meet the setback requirements?
So if you can see this dashed line, that is the required 20-foot front yard setback. The sliding glass door is off of this small projection off the rear of the home, facing out towards the street. So the proposed deck, the door would go right out onto the deck. And the applicant is requesting this small encroachment into the front yard setback.
Mr. King, you said that the permit was granted for a 20-foot setback, and that was to the developers?
Correct. The development of the subdivision was reviewed and approved with a 20-foot front yard setback, and that's for all lots in this development.
In other words, this plan was built prior to an ordinance amendment that changed the front setback from 20 feet to 25 feet.
What was the setback then?
Back then it was 20 feet, and then it was moved or increased to 25 feet a few years ago.
So their plot plan was compliant with the standard of that time.
Right, correct.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get, okay.
And the perimeter of the proposed deck is, or the area rather, is 480 square feet? Is that right?
That sounds about correct, because it's a 14 by 20 deck.
Yeah, that would be 480. And then, are there other decks within this plan that are smaller than 480 square feet?
They vary in size. I don't know off the top of my head how small the smallest one is, but I believe there are some that are smaller due to a rear yard easement on some of these lots.
Before we go any further, is there any problem? Is everybody talking loud enough to be able to pick all this up for the record?
Yeah, it's okay, Mr. Stevens, could you keep your voice up, that's all, and,
Sure.
thank you. It always helps, thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. King?
And then no responses from any of the neighbors?
I have not received any communications from any neighbors or abutting property owners regarding this application.
And then no public response to the notice that was published?
That's correct. We haven't received anything.
The board is a quasi judicial body, and as such, we ask that anyone providing testimony in any case register and be sworn in. Whoever is here tonight wishing to testify in this case, please stand and be sworn in tonight.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Can you sign in? There should be a...
On this paper?
Yeah. Yes.
name and address. You can present your case. Yes.
Okay, okay. Yes, so we're proposing a 14 by 20 deck. So this will come right to the edge of our house. We actually, can I step over here? Or do I need to be on the microphone? Okay. We're only asking for this right here, so this is just straight triangle. We're gonna take off the request of this, grill bay that we're asking for so that we don't go in as much to the setback. So we just would like to do a 14 by 20 for the usability factor, to be able to have a table and to be able to have a grill on our deck and make it more useful for us. We have 2 kids. We want to be able to have toys. And it's what would look best. I also have a picture that I took. So we're going to come to the corner of our house, and we're going to come out 14 feet, and then our stairs will go in front of our sunroom. That's the bump out of the house. So if we cannot do the triangle, then we would have to just, I guess, go along that build line and kind of have like a odd shaped deck. Because even if we went smaller, if it didn't go to the end of the house, it would kind of look a little odd. So, yeah, just proposing an average size 14-20 deck.
You plan on putting a roof on or anything?
We do not know.
Can we take a look at that photograph?
Mhm.
that you-
Yes, so I
Watch
just
yourself,
put
watch
like
yourself.
a chair where the deck will come out to. So then you can see the sidewalk here too, like how far, it's really, in that picture you can tell it's a lot further from the road than it looks.
Ms. Hazel, would you clarify for the board, as presented, this drawing is not accurate based upon your testimony, correct? Because you said that your plan is just to have a standard 14 by 20 deck, and that you're gonna remove that little bay area where the grill would go?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So it's gonna come straight down next to along the lines of the house?
Yes.
It's a little tiny slot.
On this drawing in the packet, are you removing this whole section here?
Yes. Mhm. That
So you
keeps
didn't-
us out as much as we can out of the setback.
Have you ever considered size as moving the stairs further to the right and wrapping the deck around the house more to get that footage you're losing because of the setback? Is that
Well-
possible?
My only thing against that is that our plan is to be able to have a table out there, so, I mean, we would lose a lot of space for that walking around.
With the amended plan, do we know now the dimension?
Not exactly, but based on the drawing that was provided to us, I don't believe that there would be a dimensionally decreased encroachment into the setback. There might be an overall square footage decrease in that setback, but I don't know if dimensionally removing that that grill bay would get them down to, let's say, 14 or 13, or I guess it's the other way, 16 or 17 feet setback.
Would the township require an amended plan, should the board approve it, based upon a 14 by 20 deck size? That
Yes.
differs from the application?
Yes, we would want them to revise the building permit.
I'm a little.
Really just the drawing.
I'm a little confused because what's shown here with the bump out for the grill is somebody has said that that's 14 by 20. So if we're talking about eliminating the grill bay area, then that's something less than 14 by 20. The blue pen on Exhibit H, it's upside down, but you can see it says 14 by 20 there. So that's its current proposed.
14 by 20 is
area.
just the rectangle, so that 20 feet is the distance from our sliding glass door to the corner of the house. 20 feet. Did I say 14? I meant 20. 20 feet from sliding glass door to the corner of the house.
If the bump out is removed, you go from the upper left-hand corner straight down, then what is the bottom left-hand corner seems to be inside the 20-foot setback.
It is.
Right,
Yes.
it's right at the corner of that house, so yeah, it's,
Right.
It's actually inside.
right.
Yeah, looks like.
It's-
So the 14 by 20 is,
So what you're
instead of
saying-
needing a 14 by 20, they would need, they're requesting 5 feet out and maybe 16 feet down. Am I looking at that correctly? The bottom, if you cut that bump out for the grill, if that's removed or it's not considered, then the bottom of the deck is within the setback requirements.
Correct.
So the only thing that's, not only, but that is needed for the requirement would be the top half of the deck.
Right, the top corner is in the setback.
Exactly, okay, all right.
Is that, excuse me, from the stairs, the top of the stairs over on the top side, is that 20 feet as well?
What was that? Where?
So from the stairs across into the setback, is that a 20-foot dimension?
No, the 20 feet is from here to here.
So what's the dimension from going
So
left
this-
to right?
This,
Including the
like-
stairs?
14.
So that's 14 feet from the top of the stairs across?
14 feet is from the top line to the house, the bottom line. That's the 14 feet.
So there's a note in pen on this, this is Exhibit,
It's a-
Exhibit H. Yeah, it's on the screen there. So the note is actually upside down, but doesn't the note say 14 by 20 W/grill bay, which would be with grill bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then, the area without the grill bay is something different than 14 by 20. At least as this person who's prepared this drawing is showing.
And do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
So to my understanding, what our builder told
Can
us.
you tell the board and everybody your name?
I'm sorry, I'm Michael Hazel, I'm her husband. We had Decked Out by Dawn come and give us this blueprint here. And to clear everything up, this dimension, 20 by 14, is just this square you're seeing right here. That doesn't include the grill bay, that doesn't include that. He wanted to do a grill bay because he seemed to think if we put a grill on that space and a table, we wouldn't have enough room. Like, he said, there's really no point in doing a deck if you don't do it that big. He sees people regret it all the time. So we wanted to do the grill bay, but we decided to, not do the grill bay, hoping that you guys would approve this for us. So if we didn't do it, we would have to take our deck, like she said, on a goofy angle like this, and we just think that'll look, terrible. It's not gonna look good. What's the point of doing a deck?
So really what, to your understanding, what the person who prepared this is trying to communicate to you is 14 by 20 plus.
Plus a little
Yes.
grill
The
bump
grill
out,
bay.
and then whatever the
Yeah.
stair
That
dimension would
makes
be
sense.
from the elevation to ground level.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this is drawing, right?
Any other questions?
Slash stairs elevation.
I'm still confused on the dimensions.
Can I come across? Do you have this
please.
drawing?
Yeah. There's no dimensions on it though, is there?
So I had the opportunity to, we're back on the record, I'm sorry. I had the opportunity to look at the drawings and discussions with the board and showing the drawings, also discussion with the applicant. But so the record reflects discussion. If the applicant can just show on, I believe that's Exhibit G that's up on the board, what you're looking at, and it'll better explain that, so.
So if we take off the request of the grill bay, and we have a line right here, and we have a 20 by 14, it's this corner right here that's putting it to the line, and that's what we're asking variance for.
And the record should reflect that the applicant is pointing at the top left-hand corner of Exhibit G to show what the variance is needed. But the variance still requests a 14 by 20, although it may be outside of the setback 12 feet or so. I don't even know if it's that much, but I'm not the engineer.
15 square.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know what that dimension is.
I don't know, the dimension is a mark, but it's just that top, up left-hand corner, and I think everybody on the board,
Well, what you can see on that screen, that solid line that's right up against that upper left-hand corner of the deck, that's 15 feet from the right-of-way.
Yeah, so kind of sketch that across the map, exactly, or the drawing.
That gives you an idea of how far into the setback it goes.
half an hour.
If it's drawn to scale.
It's on angle too.
All right, can I get a motion?
Do you have to close first?
Mr. Chair, could I
Do we close
suggest,
testimony?
There's a question, another question.
could I suggest that we caucus really, just for a couple minutes? I'd like to speak to the
So
council.
at this time, the board will recess to deliberate Is it the board's intention to come out and render a decision? Everybody's nodding in agreement, so the board will deliberate, come back out and render a decision, so if you want to hang around for a few minutes. We are back on the record. The record should reflect that the board deliberated concerning this application. If there is no further testimony or evidence of record, a motion to close the record would be in order first.
Motion to close the record.
I make a motion to close the record.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Record closed.
The one, if I might, they passed up a photograph to us that I was going to suggest we include as a supplement to the record, since we all saw that, and that was all part of the deliberation, so.
And that can be marked as applicant's Exhibit 1.
Right on the back.
I
All
can
those
now-
in favor of closing the record indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Record's closed. Now you can,
Can I have a board member for a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the zoning hearing board case ZHB 2600473 Hazel for request for a deck 15-foot front yard setback, encroaching 5 feet in the required 20-foot yard setback as shown with the grill bay. Some of the conditions on it are approve the variance requested as presented, approve variance, deny variance, let's see here, approval of a building permit will be needed, use of a correct dimensional drawing with a permit, because there's a lot of questions on the dimensions, and variance shall expire if the applicant does not begin activity within 1 year of the date of building permit issuance. Any future building permits application that proposes a reduced setback other than what is permitted by the provisions of the zoning ordinance at the time of the application shall require approval by the zoning hearing board prior to its issuance.
Can I have a second?
I will second that motion.
call vote.
Can I have a roll call for a vote?
Ms. Pachowski?
Yes.
Mr. Higgins?
No.
Mr. Griffith?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
And Mr. Stevens?
No.
So the variance passes on a vote for 3-2.
Yep.
A written decision will follow within 45 days. If anyone is opposed, they have the right to file an appeal to the Court of Common Pleas of Washington County. This case is closed.
Just a point of clarification, you said with the bay included.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you get that?
Yes, thank you for your time.
Good night.
Have a great day.
Next, we have the second case number ZHB 26000474, a request for variance from 440-4031C of Peters Township zoning ordinance by Paul Hoover. For the property located at 163 Lelak Lane, specifically to place a sport court 5 feet from the side yard property line. The current minimum side yard setback for that is 15 feet. We will make staff's memo to this board summarizing the hearing, Exhibit A, and the applicant's application to the zoning hearing board as Exhibit B. Mr. King, was notice of this hearing properly advertised and posted?
Yes, it was.
Do you have a copy of these notifications?
Yes, I do.
This legal notice and its proof of publication in the Observer Reporter, a copy of the letter sent to property owners within 600 feet of the subject property, and proof of property posting will be Exhibits C, D, E, and F. Exhibit G, H, and I are proposed plot plan, the property grading, and the Township Engineering Director's email. Mr. King, would you provide us the background and analysis on the case?
Mr. King, before you get to that, Mr. Hauber,
Yes, sir.
can we get Mr. Hauber sworn in
Oh,
for a
yeah.
moment?
You-
I don't know if he stood.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mr. Hauber, my name is Tom Lonich, and I am the solicitor for the zoning hearing board. My understanding from the application is that you are the representative for the owner, is that correct?
Contractor, yes.
And I assume you're appearing here on behalf of the owner, and the owner has knowledge of this variance request, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
The board has 4 regular members present and 1 alternate. If this board decides in a 2-2, that means that the application is denied. With your approval on behalf, in your status as a representative of the owner, I would request that the alternate member be elevated so that the alternate member can participate and vote in this hearing, if you're okay with that.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. King.
Can you sign in? Right here? Yeah.
And Mr. King's going to do his presentation first.
So this is a request for a variance to a side yard setback for a single-family home, part of the Ironwood development. This is in the low-density residential zoning district. Surrounding uses are single-family homes. As you can see by the image on the screen, the site is sloped. The lowest point would be along the street, and it rises as you go back towards the rear of the lot. The variance request is to move this sport court shown in blue towards the left side of the property, leaving a 5-foot side yard setback. Sport courts are specifically noted in our zoning ordinance as a structure, accessory use that is required to have a 15-foot side yard and rear yard setback. I will note on this plan, there is the proposal for a driveway extension that complies with our zoning ordinance and is not within the scope of this variance request. With this variance request, they are only requesting a side yard setback variance. In our practice in zoning, we have not considered a sport court to count towards lot coverage for the lot. So we are not factoring in lot coverage. It is solely for the side yard setback. As you can see on screen, there is a sloped rear yard. The applicant has slightly different grading lines than what we have in our GIS system. In any case, it does appear based on this drawing that the grading here would not fit the sport court. The applicant has informed us that a small retaining wall will be required to level out a pad for that sport court. In the packet, you'll see there's a letter from the engineering director, Mark Zamitis. I have shown him these, and he had no concerns with the changes to the topography of the site. The hardship in this case is the grading on the site. No matter where the sport court is put in the rear yard, grading will be required as well as some sort of retaining wall. Based on my conversations with the applicant, the retaining wall will be relatively small, with just a few feet in height. If the board decides to grant this variance, recommended conditions placed on this are that the applicant apply and receive approval for a building permit. The variance will expire if activity does not start within a year. If lighting is to be installed, the lighting shall be directed downward and shielded so that light is confined within the boundaries of the subject parcel. And this is right out of our ordinance. Sport courts shall be protected by a perimeter fence of 10 feet in height. With our fencing, that may be placed right up to the property line, similar to any other fencing in the township. And any future building permit application that requests a setback reduction other than what is in the zoning ordinance would need to come before the board for a separate variance approval.
I have a question. Where in the ordinance are those Peters address sports courts?
They are
What
addressed
section?
in a few different locations. Under the zoning table, I believe it's called out as not as a accessory use that cannot qualify for the reduced side or rear yard setbacks. I know as a use, they are also called out as a, what are they called?
In the supplemental regulations,
Yeah,
in
the
601,
supplemental regulations,
440-601, there's use-specific regulations for recreation
Facility.
facility.
Yes.
And then specific to single-family homes, and which that case it calls out tennis courts, sports courts,
Pools, play structures, I think.
pools and play structures, a number of different types of sports courts.
There's no building involved, right? It's just,
No, nothing.
what's the surface made of?
The only thing they're gonna have on the surface is concrete. They might put a, well, they're probably gonna put a plastic lockable, thing for the kids to play on so they don't get hurt. Mainly it's a 60 by maybe 20. They can even, probably might have to be truncated. And that's pretty much the only place it'll fit, but the neighbors next door have a pool house right there, the Mark, what's his name? Mark and Mar Davis, they're customers of mine. They have a, may I go over to this map? Sure. The hell? This is Mark and Marlene Davis's house, we're next door neighbors. This area right here is flat, but when I said a wall, I mean, we're talking probably that big, just to get into the toe right here. So I can take this and flatten it a little bit. This is flat. This is 40, well, it's not, it's gonna be with like, there's a 40-foot setback with that, with whoa. It's not gonna encroach this way. It was just here. So the only place to fit it practically would be over here. Otherwise, it'd have to be, it wouldn't be usable, just kind of, 15-foot or 12-foot concrete pad. So they wanted to put it over here. These people are cool with it because they have a huge pool house right here, and they're super cool people anyways. And it's just a concrete pad for them to, I mean, people say pickleball, but I don't see them playing pickleball. It's just for the kids to play because their driveway in the front is also, you can notice, is kind of precipitous. So there's really nowhere, if you have 2 cars parked here, this slopes down. They have 3 young kids, and they just want to have some place for the kids to play up here.
So I guess what would prevent you from moving that over guard?
This way?
Yeah, because you see it's right on the edge.
No, I understand that. This is a little, this top is a little hard to read, but this gets very narrow over here. This is the only flat part of the backyard, and then there's very small flat part between. This is a covered porch here, so if you're from here to here is probably 12 feet, and this is probably the only 20-foot section there is. That's why I was gonna do this over here, just so, 2-foot wall, so I could level it.
So you're gonna have to move it anyway.
I'm sorry?
You're gonna have to move this pretty much dirt and put a retaining wall where it is now.
But it's a slope up, this is a slope uphill, so if I put it at the toe slope, probably not. I mean, probably a couple feet. And to put the basin, it's mainly just the level, actually, that's a good question. It's mainly to level this part of the yard out right here. Because it does, from here to here, it does slope a little bit. I want to flatten this area for them. So if I had a 2-foot knee wall behind this sport court, I could take this section and level it. So I take this, and just 30, I mean, we're talking inches. But you don't want to be on a sports court that's tilted. Right? And that's it.
On the existing conditions plan that was supplied, that's the sport court. Is this something?
What are you looking at?
There's
The other blue square.
Yeah, that other blue square, yes. It's over here, that's gonna be poured by the concrete guy, that stops before the corner house is put on top of that.
Okay. And then on the other side, Paul, the red line, is that something?
Which one?
See the 25 on the plan on the right?
No,
Yeah.
I think that represents the covered porch.
Okay.
That's kind of the highlighter right here. See that?
Okay.
That's the covered porch. That is right there.
That's there already?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is flipped backwards. Let me look at my drawing.
I guess I have a question for the township. If this was just a patio with deck chairs, would we be here?
No.
Okay.
But you gotta remember with sports courts, especially the way they envision these regulations was for more of a active sport, like, we have some hockey rinks and basketball courts, which is why there's requirements for fencing and to keep it away from the property line, so that you don't have a super high fence right up against the neighboring
Right.
property.
I know there's a hockey rink in this development.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, would you clarify, I want to make sure that the record's clear on this. The actual sport court is not being outfitted for any particular, like, not for tennis or for pickleball?
It's not big enough.
Okay.
I mean, they might try to play I mean, I don't know why, I'm too tired at the end of the day, but I guess it's the rate. They may try to do that. But I think it's mostly because they have 3 young kids and they have a backyard it's tiny. And I'm surprised the drawing right there doesn't match that drawing. That's kind of interesting. But that whole hill is, you can see it on the pictures, it's precipitous. Yeah, but there would probably be a plastic thing on top of the concrete, like, some sort of lockable tile type thing.
So will this require a 10-foot perimeter fence around it as a part of the grant of the variance ordinarily?
If you read the way the ordinance is written for a sports court, it should have a 10-foot high fence.
Sir, one of the things that you mentioned, I think you said the neighbors are cool with it one way or the other.
Yeah, they didn't,
And I just wondered if you could you elaborate anything more beyond the fact that they did not respond to the notice that they received?
Yeah, they came over and said, it's great, we love to hear your kids laugh. To them, my kids are 30. But, they came over and said, yeah, we like to hear your kids laugh, this is great, I don't have a problem with it. I guess they didn't turn anything in. It's Mark and Marlene Davis that live next door, so, But they also have that's not their house, that's like a big pool house that kind of blocks their view.
I guess the question came up that it would need it being a sports court, it would need a fence around it.
Okay.
And they are aware that they want to, because it was what, a 10-foot
10-foot fence. Yeah.
10-foot fence around the,
So is who aware, the neighbor or them?
both, I guess.
You.
I'm sorry.
Or is the owner of
The applicant, yeah.
The owner, the person we're talking about, the
The applicant,
Oh, no, yeah, they're
neighbor,
aware of it, sure, absolutely. They have a fence up against the property as well, but it's a 6-foot pool fence that runs all the way behind this represents a 6-foot pool fence right here, but it's over here, this is a 6-foot, it's about right here that runs behind their property line. All the way. This is a corner lot, just like that last one you looked at.
The requirement of the perimeter fence is a requirement that's in the ordinance pertaining to sports schools.
Correct.
So they have to meet all those requirements. The only thing the zoning hearing board is looking at is a variance as to the setback.
Correct.
May I ask a question then? So with the way that, I mean, he'd probably say, sure, and ask his neighbor if he could put the fence up. I don't think that would be an issue at all. But if it's not, what was my point? If it's not like a sports court, if it's not like a hockey rink like the neighbor has up the street, a full-size hockey rink with vapor lights and stuff like that, do you think they would require them to have that fence?
Yes.
If you call
I can
it a
answer
sports
that,
court.
and that's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
If you call it a sports court, it's required to have a perimeter fence around it.
Right.
Okay.
10 foot high.
Is what it is. I think I don't know, you know, it's a sports court, the kids are gonna play up there, but I think the primary thing is if you drive over to the house, the front driveway's like this. The back hillside's like this. So the backyard, when you do this, you put the giant house in the middle of it, it gets pretty truncated, right? I think they just want a place for the kids to play.
Who designated it a sports court?
I
The
believe it
owner?
was the applicant.
The applicant?
Yes, if I recall correctly, in all my discussions
That'd be
over
me.
the phone and with the applicant, it was always considered a sports court.
Right.
It was a play area, would we be sitting here? Just a play area?
If we called it a patio, no.
And I'm not trying to like get around it either. If it's, I wrote the
Well, the reason we're asking is
application.
the sports court has a certain requirements to it, like the fence,
Mhm.
and there's different things where if you would say it is a patio, you're probably gonna put chairs and you watch the kids play on it. You're not
Okay.
necessarily playing basketball, tennis, pickleball,
Right.
and there's a whole different requirement for a
Right.
patio, for a sports court versus a patio.
And I don't think, my client's not trying to get out of putting up a 10-foot. If I said, hey, yeah, it's good, you have to put up a 10-foot fence, he'd be like, all right, you know what I mean? I don't think they'd have a problem with it.
What we don't want is to you go back and say, okay, I'll put this in, but I have to put a 10-foot fence around it.
What do you mean?
But if it's a requirement of the
I don't install
ordinance
fences.
that a 10-foot perimeter fence has to be placed around it,
Mhm.
it is not subject to a condition to be placed by this board.
Yeah, yeah.
It exists, so they have to comply with that
Yeah, I
or
understand.
change the name. So this board is not going to place a condition beyond, you know, whatever else is applicable. They have to do that.
Have you seen the letter from the engineer, from Mark Samadas?
No, I couldn't get onto the website before I came here.
Was that something that was shared?
That should have been shared. I believe you were included in that email chain when I sent that email to Mark Zamitis.
So there's, no grading activity within 3 foot of the property line. More than 4 foot vertical cutter fill, greater than 5,000 cubic feet, grading permit. Then the proper EMS controls, yada, yada, yada.
Mhm.
So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet points. And then lighting and all that type of stuff is taken care of in the ordinance, right?
I don't recall if lighting was specifically called out, but when I was looking at similarly approved sports courts to find out if they had been regulated for lot coverage, that condition was on every single sport court application that was approved that I saw.
Would it be a problem if they called it a patio and wanted to put a fence up afterwards? Like, you know what I mean? Would that be? I wasn't even talking about that. I was just wondering, because of the way the rules are written.
If you call it a sports court,
Mm-hmm.
then it has to have a perimeter fence around it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's designated as something else,
Mm-hmm.
that's up to the planning department as to whether it is, whatever it is, it's termed, and what the requirements are under the ordinance.
Okay, thanks.
That's-
I guess, just Mark, a swimming pool. I always have struggled with this. The pool is fine, the concrete perimeter around the pool is fine, within a setback line.
The pool cannot, it has to follow the setback requirements.
Okay.
But the decking around it, the concrete, can be within the setbacks.
Okay. Okay.
In fairness to the applicant and the owner, if it's deemed or called a patio, and the planning department makes a decision that because it is called a patio, that a perimeter fence is not needed. If at some point later on, as the children grow up and they decide that they're gonna play basketball on it, or they're gonna turn it into a hockey rink and it becomes a sports court, then the department may come and say, now it is a sports court and you need this fence around.
Okay, yeah, I
Is
understand.
that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Any other questions? Can I have a motion from the members of the board?
And close the record.
Close the, motion to close the record.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Record's closed. Now, we have a motion.
Where is the case number?
Anyone?
How is it on? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the zoning hearing board case number ZHB-26-00-474 Ferry. Along with the following condition, was there a condition up there? Can I say the 5 conditions?
You can.
Along with the zoning board, the 5 conditions, apply for and obtain approval for a building permit. Variance should expire if applicant does not begin permit actively within 1 year of the date of the building permit. All lighting must be directed downward and shielded so that the light is confirmed within the boundaries of the subject parcel. Sport courts should be protected by a perimeter fence 10 foot high. Fences may be constructed within the setbacks, and any future building permit applications that propose setbacks for a structure other than what is permitted by the provisions of the zoning ordinance at the time of the application should require approval by the zoning board prior to issuance.
Can I have a second? Can I get a roll call vote?
Sure. Ms. Pachowski?
No.
Mr. Higgins?
Yes.
Mr. Griffith?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
And Mr. Stevens?
No.
The motion
3-2.
passes 3-2. A written decision will follow within 45 days. If anyone is opposed, they have the right to file an appeal to the Court of Common Pleas of Washington County. closes this hearing.